What's up, guys? Skippy Africanus here, and earlier this week I dropped a short little video on the Obrez, which, if you haven't seen it yet, go watch the damn video. But anyways, while looking for an image to use as a thumbnail for that specific video, I got sidetracked and stumbled across an article written 5 years ago in regards to the Obrez. So as mentioned in that previous video, the Obrez, aside from being used by revolutionaries, kulaks, partisans, all that, was of course just flat out used by your common criminal. I mean, an easy to conceal gun being used by your common criminal really is no surprise. Another thing I brought up as well was how it'd be neat if in an alternate reality they did ban handguns in that treacherous National Firearms Act of 1934, and at the same time forgot to add in the short barrel rifle clause to close that potential loophole allowing people to carry stuff like this. Meaning guns like these would have actually been a lot more popular, or at least just in general being used. Well, funny enough, in regards to those statements, it turns out that we don't need to live in reality where handguns are illegal for people to be making these because, well, someone did make one of these things. And they didn't just make it just to, well, have a fun gun or have, you know, something to make you giggle at the range. They actually made it for, you know, some illegal acts. So the article isn't very descriptive on the whole scenario, and I tried to find more info on it elsewhere, but was coming up with nothing. So there is a lot of details missing from the story, making it a fairly short one, but anyways, the story goes that a police officer for the Las Vegas Police Department rolled into a gun store with a confiscated weapon. I bet you can't guess what that confiscated weapon was. And he brought it in there with the intent to identify it because, well, we're not gonna pretend like you guys don't know what gun we're talking about. He brought in one of these things, this one specifically, actually. And evidently it was taken from some gangbanger. Again, details on how or why this had to happen in the first place are scarce. Personally, I'm gonna imagine someone tried to short him on a gram and he just whipped this shit on the dude, which promptly, after firing the nuclear explosion level of a muzzle blast, pretty much alerted all of Las Vegas to where he was. I mean, it probably didn't happen that way, but it sounds funny to me, so it did happen that way. But anyways, yeah, this is the only image of the Obrez, which kind of looks like someone with Parkinson's took the photo, which honestly is probably the case, as this photo was taken back in like 2018, and there frankly is no reason this picture came out that bad. But as we can see here, this was a pretty quick job. I mean, he just cut the stock and barrel off, nothing too fancy. And of course, it also doesn't have a front sight anymore, but those are frankly for losers, so you really don't need them in the first place. But one thing I like to add about what I think is funny about this whole situation, I mean, well, aside from the fact that someone was actually running around with an Obrez, the other funny thing I find about this whole situation is the year that it happened. Like, honestly, I could see a real poor dude doing something like this in, like, say 2015 when Mosins were like $100, but around 2018 these things costed a lot more. Like, I personally don't recall the exact number, but I'm pretty sure you could have picked up like a cheapy high point pistol for around the same price, if maybe just like a tiny bit more. I mean, he could have very well just stole this gun in the first place and did this shit, or you know, maybe he just wanted to look a little more fashionable with this rather than this. Either way, I thought this was a pretty funny little story I came across and felt like sharing with you guys, as it was not in the original Obrez video, and I felt like it was some very important info you guys just absolutely needed to know about. But anyways, I think that is gonna do it for this short little video on the Obrez Part 2. I hope you all enjoyed the video as much as I personally enjoyed making it, and hopefully this video and audio quality is coming out a little bit better, because I just got a capture card, so I know for darn sure the video's not gonna look terrible, but I imagine the audio might need some tuning, as I'm not used to using this mic. And also, you might notice there's probably gonna be a watermark at the bottom of this video and probably a few videos afterwards, because I have to use new editing software, considering KineMaster is only for the phone and not for PC. So I'm gonna find a few little editing, well, I guess apps or whatever, and when I find one I like, then I'll actually pay for it. But yeah, that's about it for the video, and I will see y'all next time.